All propaganda has to be popular and has to accommodate itself to the comprehension of the least intelligent of those whom it seeks to reach. Adolf Hitler. During the Nazi rule, popular music was comprised of the Nazi anthem as well as myriad pro-Nazi songs targeting students, all songs that conveyed Hitler's message and schemes. Perhaps his view on the conditions of effective propaganda functions as an explanation for his close affiliation with popular music. One may consider it typical of Hitler to distort a cultural form of expression into supporting detrimental political means. Yet throughout history, and even in contemporary society, it is possible to find multitude sources detailing the appearance of popular music with politics, regardless of whether progressive or conventional. According to Reflections on Music and Propaganda, we may divide music propaganda into nationalism, protest music, political display, and the music of war. In this video, we will be focusing on the more specific topics of how popular music is used as an effective means of furthering nationalism. We will explore settings such as campaigns, wars, and rallies in order to question the psychological basis that exists underneath the historical uses of music propaganda.
Under Mao Zedong's belief that the arts could act as a powerful weapon in uniting and educating the masses, songs such as I Love Beijing's Tiananmen, Tiny Little Screw Cap, and Grow Up to be a Good Member of the Commune gained popularity within the communist regime. Similarly, in Japan, authors discovered songs that are soaked with propagandistic messages and that assert the superiority of Japan over other nations and the glory of dying for one's country. The examples are dispersed among Western countries as well. German Nazi camps, though a much more drastic example, used music to attack prisoners' identities, certainties, and self-conceptions, and thus enhance the unity of their own pure people. Furthermore, Linda Colley portrays how the popular song God Save the King became a form of state propaganda that sought to legitimate monarchic rule for the British Empire.
Found several common factors that seem to exist within the numerous historical examples. 1. Most studies show music propaganda that were used by countries or authority figures either seeking justification for their political power or attempting to increase patriotism in times of conflict or uncertainty. 2. In a historical context, popular music was often deliberately used, created for the sake of political purposes. To delve in deeper, we use a psychological approach in an attempt to establish the basis as to why music would have the power to wield political propaganda. We first explored why authors believe popular music is often used as propaganda. Hansen claims that music has the potential to change feelings and emotions, and provides empirical evidence of how people process information differently based on the type of message the music conveys. We found a theoretical explanation for this in Atlantic Marketing Journal. When a conditioned stimulus, propaganda, is paired with an unconditioned stimulus, music, an emotional response is produced, which can be affiliated to a certain political stance. The explanations provided by different authors lead us to conclude that music is intrinsically easy to program to become a factor of persuasion.
Music propaganda seems to hold influence, especially when used for political purposes. We considered why this must be so. 1. Music decreases the reluctance that people feel when politicians directly appeal to them on sensitive matters related to nationalism or patriotism. 2. Popular music may impact one's everyday life, both on a conscious and unconscious level, especially because it is not only played often, but also very accessible. This intrinsic characteristic of popular music may contribute to influencing how an individual mindset views society, thus furthering a patriotic sentiment. 3. Politicians may brand themselves with music. Through music, they construct themselves in an auditory way that not only appeals to the public, but also offers insight to who they are and what they stand for. 4. Popular music may also help appeal to more diverse age groups. Politicians and leaders can use music to reach children, as well as many adults who are less in touch with politics. As strong feelings may be elicited through music, more support could be won over even those who are apathetic about politics itself. Popular music is often looked down upon as a communist culture that may have no more impact than do the typical mainstream fads. Yet throughout the course of history, we see numerous instances in which political figures wield music as a form of propaganda, and we realize Though music may have no tangible form, it does have practical consequences on both society and individual.